Alright, Update 4 Part 2 is now on pre-release. Today I'm covering the major gameplay changes only. No cosmetics and no minor bugfix spam. Okay, let's run it in 3 categories. First we have farming and survival, then creatures and encounters, and finally UI and quality of life. Now, let's get straight to the point. Welcome to the Guide Log channel. Starting off with the first category, farming and survival. The first and biggest change here is that workbenches keep processing even if the chunk unloads. It also resumes when output slot clears, and now they use game time instead of real time. Because this uses game time, it should mean that things progress when time jumps, like when you sleep. So your crafting can be much further along when you wake up. Watering cans got a full overhaul. You can now charge to water a 3x3 area, capacity went from 20 to 50, you can now place them on the ground while crouching, and watering is now only a secondary interaction. Another change in this category is that decayed tilled soil will now update correctly once it's fully decayed. And the last point here is that wheat is no longer edible. Before we continue, remember to subscribe if you don't want to miss these quick breakdowns in the future. The next category is creatures and encounters. The first point in this category is that wolves will now fight as packs. They'll try to flank you and they'll retreat when they're injured. Moving on, skrills can now lay eggs. And finally here, tame chickens are now recognized by chicken coops. Moving on to the third category, we have UI and quality of life. One of the bigger headlines here is that they added an emote wheel. If you want to use it, the default keybind is X. And of course, you can always change it in the keybinds if you don't like it. Next, we have map visibility got a major upgrade, where personal, shared, and player markers are now always visible on the map. A nice quality of life change here is that backpacks will now show how many slot items are being used. The builder's workbench, campfire, crude bedroll, wooden chest, and crude torch now have instant crafting times. That's all for the major changes, but wait, there's still more. 2 honorable mentions here. First, ammo is no longer consumed when you're in creative mode. And second, mounts will no longer be able to sprint indefinitely in fluids. Honestly, I didn't even know they could do that. Everything else is a bunch of bug fixes and many changes to modding support, some UI changes, and a bunch of other things. There will be a link in the description for the full patch notes if you'd like to read them. If you're glad that I saved your time, help me out by leaving a like. Thank you for watching and see you next video.